Hello my dear students, I hope you all are fit at your home and enjoying the e-learning at your home. So students, today we are going to start with our chapter number 12 of Geography, and the name of the chapter is Interior of the Earth. In this chapter we will cover structure of the earth, rocks and minerals, rock cycle and the uses of these rocks. So let's begin. Our first topic is internal structure of the earth. So students, as you all know that nobody has gone inside this earth to see how many layers are there. So our knowledge about this interior of the earth is based on the evidences such as deep mine operations are taking place and volcanic eruptions are there, which is giving us knowledge about the internal structure of the earth, and earthquakes are there, waves are there. Okay, the concentric layers of the earth are the crust, mantle and core, as you can see in this picture. Let's talk about the different layers of the earth. So students, as you know that the earth consists of 3 layers, so let's study about them. The outermost layer of the earth is crust. It is the topmost layer of the earth. It is divided into 2 parts, that is Sial and Sima. Then comes the mantle. This layer comes below the crust, as you can see. It is also known as mantle. It is made up of molten magma and it is about 2900 km between the crust and the core. Then comes the innermost part of our earth, that is core. It is the center of the earth. It is also known as barysphere. This core is made up of nickel and iron. Thus, it is known as NIF. Now, rocks and minerals. So, students, rocks and minerals are found on this earth. They are of different types, different shapes, different size and different properties. On the basis of their shape, types and chemical properties, these rocks are divided into 3 types: igneous rocks, metamorphic rocks and sedimentary rocks. So students, first we will talk about the igneous rocks. These rocks are formed due to solidified molten rock. Okay. Students, as you know that the mantle consists of this molten magma. When this molten magma comes out due to pressure inside the earth, it cools down. Okay, it gets solidified. Then it forms igneous rocks. Again, these igneous rocks are divided into 2 types, that is extrusive, volcanic and intrusive rocks, which are also known as plutonic rocks. Extrusive rocks are formed when the molten reaches the earth's surface and cools. Means that the molten magma comes out of the earth crust and on the surface it cools down. Okay, then that is known as the extrusive rocks. Then comes the intrusive rocks. Intrusive means inside. It is formed when that molten magma crystallized, cooled over time, is solidified deep inside the earth. Okay, sometimes that magma comes out of the earth crust and sometimes that remain inside the earth. On the basis of this, it is divided into extrusive rocks and intrusive rocks. So when this molten magma comes out and it gets solidified, cools down, it formed extrusive rocks, and when this magma does not come out of the earth crust, it remains inside the earth. That when it cools down, it again that solidified deep inside the earth, then it forms this intrusive or plutonic rocks. Some examples are there of extrusive rocks, that are basalt, pumice, obsidian. And example of this intrusive rocks are granite, gabbro. Okay, these all are the examples. Now let's talk about the metamorphic rocks. These rocks formed when other rocks are changed by heat, pressure and chemical reaction. So students, as you know that when these igneous and sedimentary rocks are subjected to high pressure and heat, okay, then their original character is changed and their appearance also changed. Okay, so their chemical properties are changed due to heat and pressure, and their size, shape, all these things are changed, and these rocks are the changed form of igneous and sedimentary rocks. Examples are there: marble, slate. Now we will study about the sedimentary rocks. These sedimentary rocks are formed when the combination of rock fragments, seashell and in layers and harden. So students, when these igneous rocks are formed by cooling down of this molten magma, then these rocks are again divided into sediments. Okay, then these sediments accumulated over long period on the floors of ocean, rivers, lakes. It consists of the dead remains of the plants and animals. Then they over the period of time they just compact and they formed sedimentary rocks. Some examples are there: limestone, sandstone, shale. Okay, now there are many minerals are also there which are found in these rocks: calcite, quartz, hornblende, biotite, feldspar. Okay. Let's have a quick recap of how these different types of rocks are formed. So students, as you can see, this molten magma is coming out of the earth crust due to heat and pressure inside the earth. It is bursting out of the earth crust. And when it's cooled down, it is known as lava, and it formed basalt rock, and the magma which remains inside the earth forms granite. This granite is also a form of igneous rock. As we can see that many statues are there which are formed of these igneous rocks. Now let's talk about the sedimentary rocks. Students, as you can see on the seabed, these all dead remains are coming and settling down. Over the period of time, they get compressed and compact, and they form these sedimentary rocks. Sediment builds up and compacts, and it eventually becomes sedimentary rocks. Some examples are there: sandstone and limestone. Now let's talk about the metamorphic rocks. So students, as you know that the metamorphic rock are the changed form of igneous and sedimentary rocks. So inside the earth, due to high pressure and temperature, this metamorphic rocks changes their chemical properties, shape and size. Some examples are there: slate is formed from clay and marble is formed from limestone. Now we will study about the rock cycle. How these rocks are formed, they changes their shape from one rock to another rock. So students, as you can see, this is magma. This magma is there in the molten form inside the earth. Due to high heat and pressure, it's burst out from the earth crust, which is known as volcanic eruption. When this magma cools down on the surface of the earth, it forms igneous rocks. Then these igneous rocks are divided into sediments, and the sediments form sedimentary rocks over the period of time. These sedimentary rocks are formed into metamorphic rocks as they change their shape and size and chemical properties. And again, this metamorphic rock, due to high pressure, heat, changes into magma, and again this cycle begins and continues. So this all is about the rock cycle. Now we will study about the uses of these rocks. Many uses are there. They are useful in many ways as building materials and as sources of metals like iron, copper, aluminium, gold and silver. So students, that's all about your interior of the earth. We have studied about the structure of the earth, different types of rocks, how they are formed, what are their uses, about the rock cycle, okay, about different types of metals, different types of rocks. Thank you and have a nice day.